Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga dies at 80. Super Eagles set for Gabon clash in World Cup playoff. That's from the World of Sports. Hello and welcome once again to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television. Now let's take you to the news in details. Bayelsa State Governor Diri has formally resigned from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, marking a major political shake-up in the state's leadership. The governor announced his decision during a meeting at the Executive Council chamber of Bayelsa Government House, though he did not disclose his next political destination. His exit, which comes barely 24 hours after Enugu State's Peter Mba defected to the All Progressive Congress, that is APC, was endorsed by 23 members of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, including the Speaker, signaling a possible mass realignment ahead of the next political cycle. Meanwhile, immediate past national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, that is APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has congratulated Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State for his bold decision to defect to the ruling party, describing the decision as one that is progressive. The former Kano State governor stated that Governor Mba has shown conviction, clarity, and courage, noting that he has chosen national alignment over division in the interest of the people of Enugu State. On his part, Governor Mba explained that his decision to join the All Progressive Congress was informed by the need to reshape Enugu and reorganize the politics of the state.
This movement is not a whimsical decision. It is a collective decision. It is the entire political family in Enugu State that have now migrated to the progressive. Your Excellency, today is indeed a special day in the history of this state. Today begins a march from the margins. It marks an end of being on the sideline.
Dr. Ganduje further said Governor Mba's move from the People's Democratic Party to the APC further demonstrate that true leadership is not defined by personal comfort or political confidence, but by the firm resolve to place the welfare and future of the people above all else. President Bola Tinubu has forwarded the name of Professor Joash Amopitan to the Senate for approval as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is INEC. National Assembly correspondent Topsy Gimba has details.
Tinubu's correspondence was read on the floor by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. Professor Amopitan's name was forwarded to the Senate in line with Section 154, Subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The nomination was referred to the Committee of the Whole to screen and approve the appointment of Professor Amopitan as INEC chairman.
In accordance with the provisions of Section 154, Subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, I am pleased to present for confirmation by the Senate the appointment of Professor Joash Amopitan, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, as Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
President Tinubu, in another request through a different letter, sought confirmation of the Senate for the appointments of Ayo Omidiron as new Executive Chairman of the Federal Charter Commission, FCC, and 28 others as Federal Commissioners.
President of the Senate, distinguished SP, confirmation of appointment of Chairman and Commissioners of the Federal Charter Commission. In accordance with the provisions of Section 154, Subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, I am pleased to present for confirmation by the Senate the underlisted 39 names of nominees as one as a chairman and others as commissioners of Federal Character Commission, FCC, as follows.
In another development, Senator Semela Dahoga Kaila has formally left the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to join the All Progressives Congress, APC. President of the Senate, Akpabio, announcing the move on the Senate floor, said Senator Kaila's decision follows thorough consultations with political allies and constituents in Bauchi North Central. Akpabio also noted that Senator Kaila cited internal crises and loss of strategic direction within the PDP as key factors limiting his ability to serve effectively under the party's platform.
In the welfare of my people, I have found it necessary to realign my political engagements with a more progressive platform that embodies good governance, unity, progress, growth, and discipline in the governance of our country. Consequently, I have chosen to join the All Progressives Congress, APC, and to lend my full commitment to the implementation of the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, DCFR.
The Senate, after adopting the prayers of the motion sponsored by Senator Aniakan on the urgent dehumanization of Nigerians in Libya, the Senate went into a closed-door session. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
Meanwhile, the Senate has mandated the federal government to negotiate with the Libyan government to repatriate Nigerian women who have been sexually abused and given birth in the North African nation's prison. This followed a motion of urgent public importance on the need to protect Nigerians of their human rights and abuses in Libya, sponsored by Senator Aniakan Etin-Bassi, Akwa Ibom North East. Again, Topsy Gimba reports.
Aniakan Etin-Bassi said over 1,000 Nigerians repatriated from Libya were said to have been tortured, sexually abused, dehumanized, and even involved in organ harvesting. He urged his colleagues to support the motion to protect Nigerians from these abuses in Libya.
The Senate is further aware that Amnesty International, the International Organization of Nigeria, and other credible bodies have documented consistent reports of arbitrary detention, torture, rape, forced labor, and killings of migrants in Libyan detention centers operated by both states and non-state actors.
Senator Anthony Ani Iboinsao, Senator Adams Oshomolen Edo North, and Senator Victor Ome Anambra Central supported the motion advising Nigerians to avoid illegal migration to war-torn Libya.
Having seconded, with your permission, sir, let me lend my voice to this very important motion. This has been a recurring decimal in our national life.
To advise our people, we are in a free country, nobody needs exit visa to travel. But people should be informed that after the collapse of Gaddafi, Libya is no longer what it used to be. There is no reason why an African will find himself in another African country and he will be so or she treated as if he's not a human being.
Presiding over the plenary, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, called for amendment to the prayers. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Odiegan, Kogi Central, urged the immigration officers and correctional service to liaise with the Libyan authorities to repatriate Nigerian women who have been sexually abused and given birth in Libyan prisons to be repatriated.
This is born out of the fact that numerous Nigerian women who were sex trafficked to Libya and happened to escape the unworthy, unhuman situations were arrested and detained in the Libyan prisons, and they are being used to satisfy the sexual urges.
The amendment was unanimously adopted, and the motion was referred to the Joint Committee on Foreign Affairs, Judiciary to investigate and report back to the plenary. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
The House of Representatives has called for urgent intervention in the lingering dispute between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, that is ASU, rising under a motion of urgent public importance. Member representing Badagry Federal Constituency, Lagos State, Shesi Wigan, drew the attention of the House to the ongoing disagreement between the federal government and ASU, warning that the impasse poses a threat to the stability of Nigeria's tertiary education. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
In adopting the motion, the House mandated its leadership, led by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, to immediately wade into the matter and facilitate a lasting, mutually acceptable resolution between both parties. The House further appealed to the federal government and ASU to exercise restraint, embrace constructive dialogue, and place the interests of students and national development above all other considerations.
Mandates the leadership of the House, led by the People's Speaker, the Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, to immediately intervene between the federal government and ASU.
In another development, the House of Representatives is urging key maritime agencies and the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy on the establishment of the long-awaited Ibom Deep Seaport project. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion jointly sponsored by Uyime Idem and 8 other lawmakers from Akwa Ibom State. The House observed that marine trade and the blue economy continue to shape global growth, yet Nigeria, particularly Akwa Ibom, has not fully tapped into maritime potential.
Nigerian Port Authority, NPA, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, and other relevant agencies to initiate a collaborative framework with the government of Akwa Ibom State for the establishment and realization of the Ibom Deep Sea Port. Also, the House has urged the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development to institutionalize a national database of forfeited assets with mechanism for public tracking and civil society oversight to promote accountability and public trust. This was the resolution of the House under a motion by Jafaru Leko, member representing Bogoro, Das, Tafawa, Balewa Federal Constituency, Bauchi State, on the need for transparent and equitable allocation of forfeited Abuja estate handed over to the Ministry of Housing by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Submit a comprehensive report to the House within 60 days on the proposed use allocation criteria and beneficiary selection for the estate. Meanwhile, the House passed 26 bills for first reading. Aniete Patrick reporting for Global TV.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to credible and inclusive elections as it met with the leaders of registered political parties in Abuja. The meeting, the third in the Commission's quarterly series for the year, focused on ongoing preparations for upcoming polls and the continuous voters registration exercise. Here is Sadia Yakubu's report.
The acting chairman of the commission, May Agbamuche Ubo, said the meeting provides an avenue for regular engagement between INEC and political stakeholders to strengthen Nigeria's electoral process, while reviewing activities carried out so far in 2025, including the by-elections conducted across 12 states in August and preparations for the Anambra governorship election slated for November 8, 2025. The acting chairman pledged INEC's commitment to transparency, adding that weekly updates on voter registration figures are published on the Commission's website.
The Commission is committed to keeping strictly to the remaining activities as detailed in the timetable and schedule of activities. Political parties are therefore called upon to be mindful of the last day for campaigns and keep strictly to it. The Commission has been working assiduously and making arrangements for the successful conduct of the Anambra State governorship election.
On his part, the national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Dr. Yusuf Mamman, stressed the need for political leaders to work together in deepening democratic governance. Taylor reaffirmed IPAC's commitment to partnering with INEC in promoting peaceful, credible elections and fostering political stability across the country.
The success of the off-cycle election, this off-cycle election will set the stage for the upcoming elections in 2026, including the Federal Capital Territory Area Council polls, Osun and Ekiti State's gubernatorial elections, and the decisive 2027 general election. INEC should put its act together and get it right. With the new leadership, citizens' expectations are high, very high. The Commission should justify the confidence the nation reposed in it. This is the only way to rebuild trust in the electoral process and encourage mass participation in future polls.
As Nigeria prepares for the Anambra governorship election and other future polls, the dialogue between INEC and political parties is expected to shape reforms that will further strengthen the credibility of the electoral system. From Abuja, Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, Nigeria takes over G24 leadership, promises global economic reforms. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Now let's take you to the world of business, where Nigeria is set to officially assume the championship of the Intergovernmental Group of 24 G24 on November 1, 2025, taking over from Argentina. The Central Bank of Nigeria, that is CBN, announced the development on its official X handle, describing it as a major milestone that underscores the country's growing influence among developing economies. Speaking on behalf of the Finance Minister, CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to using its leadership role to strengthen the G24's voice on global economic reforms, promote inclusive growth, and ensure that developing nations have a stronger say in international financial decision-making. Experts have warned that Nigeria's growing food crisis demands urgent and coordinated government intervention, as over 33 million citizens are now facing acute food insecurity, a situation recently highlighted by President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. The House of Representatives has moved to protect Nigerians from what it described as arbitrary and exploitative bank charges imposed by commercial banks across the country. This followed a motion of urgent public importance raised by Shagaya Mukhtar from Kwara State during plenary. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick completes the report.
Presenting the motion, Shagaya expressed concern over the growing complaints from bank customers across Nigeria about incessant, arbitrary and unexplained deductions from their accounts by commercial banks. He noted that while banks are expected to provide financial services at fair and transparent costs, many Nigerians have continued to suffer multiple deductions such as SMS alerts, charges, card and account maintenance fees, interbank transfer fees, stamp duties, and other unaccounted debits, some of which are duplicated or unjustified. Adopting the motion, the House urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to immediately publish a comprehensive and simplified list of approved bank charges and enforce strict penalties on banks found guilty of illegal deductions.
Urge the CBN to publish a comprehensive and simplified list of approved bank charges and ensure proper enforcement of penalties against banks found to be in violation.
In another development, the House of Representatives has urged the Nigerian Armed Forces, the police and other security agencies to immediately reinforce deployment and launch joint operations in Kebe and Tambuwal local government areas of Sokoto State, following renewed bandit attacks that have left scores dead, many adopted, and entire communities displaced. The call followed a motion of urgent public importance raised by Abdusamad Dasuki, representing Kebe, Tambuwal Federal Constituency of Sokoto State.
That if these attacks persist without immediate and decisive intervention, Kebe and Tambuwal may experience further humanitarian crisis, mass displacement, and deepened distrust between citizens and the state.
Meanwhile, at plenary, 3 Kaduna State PDP members of the House of Representatives defected to the ruling APC. The defectors are Abdul Karim Ahmed representing Kaduna South Federal Constituency, Aliyu Abdullahi representing Ikara, Kabo Federal Constituency, and Sadiq Abdullahi representing Sabo Geri Federal Constituency. Reading their defection letters, the Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, during plenary said their defection was due to an internal crisis within the PDP. The highlight of the defection was the presence of Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani in plenary. Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
And on the foreign scene, Kenya's former Prime Minister and veteran opposition leader Raila Odinga has died at the age of 80 while receiving medical treatment in India after collapsing during a morning walk and suffering cardiac arrest. His passing marks the end of an era in Kenya's politics, as Odinga was a towering figure in the nation's democracy, ensuring detention, election dispute, and decades of political turbulence in his quest for justice and reform. President William Ruto led a tribute describing Odinga as a beacon of courage and a father of democracy, whose influence and legacy will forever shape Kenya's political history. And now to the world of sport, where President Bola Tinubu has charged the Super Eagles to reassure qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup through the playoff, following their 4-0 emphatic victory over the Benin Republic. The president congratulated the team for keeping the nation's hope alive with their dominant performance at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo, which secured the place in the African playoff. Tinubu praised the Super Eagles for their hunger, passion, and determination displayed on the field, noting that this superlative performance has reignited Nigeria's football pride. In the meantime, Nigeria's Super Eagles will square off against Gabon in the semi-finals of the African Zone playoff for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Following the conclusion of the group stage, the 3-time African champions stormed into the playoff with an emphatic 4-0 thrashing of Benin Republic, sealing second place in the qualifying group. Gabon also booked their spot after a 2-0 win over Burundi, aided by Ivory Coast victory against Kenya, which left the partners in second place in Group F. As Global TV News Express come to an end, here is a recap of our top stories. Bayelsa State Governor Durdiri has formally resigned from the People's Democratic Party, that is PDP, marking a major political shake-up in the state's leadership. Immediate past National Chairman of All Progressive Congress, APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has congratulated Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State for his decision to defect to the All Progressive Congress, that is APC. And now in business, Nigeria is set to officially assume the chairmanship of the Intergovernmental Group of 24, G24, on November 1, 2025, taking over from Argentina. And on the foreign scene, Kenya's former Prime Minister and veteran opposition leader, Raila Odinga, has died at the age of 80 while receiving medical treatment in India. And finally, from the world of sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles will square off against Gabon in the semi-final of the African Zone playoff for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And that's it on Global TV News Express. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @GlobalTVNG. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Many thanks for watching.